What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So today I've got a little job for myself, right? So we got the car trailer, and when I first got the trailer, if you haven't seen the video, go back and check it out. I set this thing up for what you really need to go out and haul your car to and from the track and everything. Pardon me, I'm feeling a little under the weather today. Got a little dry cough, must be sinus infection or something. But anyway, you may hear that throughout the rest of the video. I have used this trailer for a while now. I've got about 6,000 miles on it, something like that. So I wanted to give you guys an update on how well this trailer has worked for me the way that I had set it up. So if you recall in the last video, there was a couple things that we did to make this thing livable, something that you really need, like must-have items for the trailer. Those include a winch and a toolbox and battery to run everything. That's basically it. We didn't really add a whole lot of stuff, but that winch, oh my goodness, what a must-have that is. So, having said that, I'm going to go over that stuff real quick, tell you how that stuff has worked for me, and how the last almost year that I've had all that stuff on here now, how this last year this trailer's been, and how it's worked for me, and then what we're going to change today to make it work better for us. And so as you can see, yes, my line's out. I just got something off the trailer just a few minutes ago. And this is a Walmart brand Hyper Tough winch. Nothing fancy. I think it was $168 last Christmas when I got that, something like that. It's a synthetic rope. So the cool thing is you don't have to worry about the metal wire splintering and just absolutely tearing you up. The hook works really good, just as it's supposed to. Haven't had any issues. This winch is only a 5,500 pound winch. So this thing, I've seen a lot of people, they put 12,000 pound or 15,000 pound winches on their trailer. You don't need that. You're pulling probably a 3,000 or 4,000 pound car, like just rolling. So you're only fighting the rolling weight. You're not fighting what the car weighs. The car weighs 6,000 pounds, that's fine. You're not pulling 6,000 pounds with the winch. You're pulling that weight rolling. And the only time it starts getting hard is when it's coming up the ramps. As soon as it gets on the trailer, you literally hear it stop struggling. Now, I ended up doing nut certs so that this would be serviceable because I had a pretty good feeling that this was going to end up dying in the rain. And so far, it does not appear to have. We did a cheap Harbor Freight Thunderbolt solar charge regulator, right? And we did a deep cycle marine battery. This is a 29 DP DL, as you can see there. This was the straps I had. They were too long. And this box also came from Harbor Freight. I kind of wish I'd have got a slightly different one now. They made some better options now, but I was in a pinch and a hurry to get it at the time. It has stayed completely weather tight. I've had no issues with that. There are holes in the bottom of it factory down there, as you can see. I did not end up using those. I had to drill them and run these other bolts through there because the clamps that it comes with, these U-bolts actually, these right here, well, they're not even technically used, they're square U's. They did not go all the way down the frame rail. There was not enough down here to actually jump onto. So I ended up using them in the center to hold the battery left from going left and right. Well, then I ran into a problem with it still bouncing up. So I ended up getting a battery hold down kit. That didn't end up working. So when I cut these straps shorter, I had these pieces left over, and I took a piece and I nut certed it on the back, which you can see there. So I ran nut certs through that and then ran a bolt through the bottom through the battery hold down thing that I tried. And that ended up getting this trailer battery where it doesn't jump up and down and do all kinds of stupid stuff. So then you can see I've still got these straps. These are the straps that I had before. They're the straps I still have today. They have worked really well for me for everything. We just run them through the wheels. And then we got our winch controller, which I usually keep it on this side, but I just had to move it. I never did end up getting these lights hooked up. But as you can see here, thanks to this last car I had to go save out of a field, we thought we had the keys to it. Turns out we did not have the right keys at that time. So we ended up having to winch it up on the trailer with the steering wheel locked. Well, that led me to wishing, man, I wish I had a snatch block and a strap. So I bought a snatch block and a strap. So the strap will go around the tree and then the winch will go through the snatch block. So ideally, you're bringing your car up on the trailer, the wheels are turned and it starts going that way. Ideally, we're going to run the winch from here to a tree way over there and then back to the car so that it'll pull the car that direction. So then we can fight that. What I ended up actually doing, I love having to make up scenarios and something happen, right? This car sat kind of high. It was an old Plymouth. Sat kind of high. We took the ramps out, put the ramps underneath the front tires upside down so it would slide, and then pulled the front wheels up on the ramps. And then as the car would come up, we would push it over, and it would slide because the ramps were slick on this floor. And then we just pulled the back end up. And that winch was able to pull this car sliding on the ramps and pull the back tires over the back of it with no ramps on it without any issues. So if anybody tells you a 5,500-pound winch is not enough, they don't know what they're talking about, because clearly this thing's been putting in a bunch of work. You know, we had gone through back in the day when I did all this stuff. About a year ago, we put grommets on everything, cleaned it up really nice. I wish I'd made them a little bit shorter, but they were already pre-terminated. And I didn't want those wires in here because, as you can see, it's already kind of a tight fit. Everything's already kind of going to be a cluster right here. I would have liked that to been. I think the inside turned out really clean, and there wasn't really much else I could do. So then our cables come up here, and I did terminate these. I used a hydraulic crimping tool. I also got that at Harbor Freight. Got them working really good. I never did splice these in. I just left them. They go to the regulator. I just kind of left them there. And it's been fine. Every now and then these wing nuts will come loose. So I just got to tighten them. I'll eventually get around to fixing that, most likely. Maybe, maybe not. And the only reason why I've got a spare hitch in here is because somebody borrowed the trailer, didn't have one. They bought it and said, you can have it. So I was like, okay, whatever. So that sums up the life of the trailer on the modification side. That gives us the toolbox. That gives us the toolbox and the winch and everything like that. Now, there is still one more problem that I've had with this trailer. The problem that I've had the most with this trailer is a couple of really simple things that should not have been problems, right? So, as you can see, I have a removable fender. I have it off right now, and I'll get to why here in a second. This has been a problem. These have been a problem. These have been a problem. Those original pins was a problem. And the taillights have been a problem since day one of having this trailer. We towed it home. There had never been a car or anything on it. This trailer did great. It was exactly like it's supposed to be. This fender, you take it off and on all day long, no problem. What ends up happening now is the frame or something on the trailer seems to be tweaked a little bit. Something's not right. The fender doesn't sit right. Maybe it's bent. I don't know. But we're going to look at that tonight. I've only got 6,000 miles on it, and there's almost no tire left back here. There's a lot of chop on this one, but as you can see, it's in much better shape. It still has some of the S's here in the middle. This one has not had any for some time, and it's already down past the wear bars on the inside and down pretty good here. The other two tires, we'll step over there and look at them. Pretty sure they're in the same boat. Now, I could be wrong, so we're going to look right here. They're chopped, but they're not as bad. And that one you can see is definitely not as bad, but you can see the chop in that one. Pretty drastic. Well, since that one's hard to get to right now, we'll stay over here. But also this fender comes off, making it a lot more easy to see. Look how much grease has slung out of these wheel bearings. And you can see how wet it is right there on the hub. And it's been like that since the day I got it. And it has got nothing but worse. Now, the rust and stuff doesn't bother me. This trailer's been towed through the rain, salt. It's been all over the place. We've been to Connecticut, Fort Wayne, Indiana. This trailer's been all over the place. That's stuff that's going to happen over time. I'm not worried about that. But for a brand new trailer to have 500 miles on it, already slinging grease out of the wheel bearings, and the tires was already chopping, and this trailer is so bouncy, and the tires have no weights on them. Now, some people will tell you they don't balance trailer tires. I don't see why you would not balance trailer tires because it's not got shocks. There's no suspension on it but the leaf springs, so there's no way to dampen it. So as those springs are bouncing, there's no way to dampen that. So you're going to feel everything in the truck. And I mean, you can see just how drastic that chop is on those. Now, most people will tell you, oh, that's just how trailers are. Trailers do this all the time, especially with this kind of tire. You put a car tire on, it's not as bad. Well, yeah, that may be true. But if you'd have balanced them, it had never done that either. So that's my other gripe. And I've talked to this company that I bought this trailer from, which was Max Built out of Morristown, which is spelled a little different. Max Built Trailers. I have to say, wholeheartedly, I will never buy a trailer from these people again. They've been really, really awful. Like I said, it's just a bunch of little stuff that I've had problems with. Every time it rains, the taillight bulbs go out. Every single time. So it does. If I wash it, blows the bulbs. Makes no sense to me. Little stupid stuff like that has absolutely drove me nuts with this trailer in the last year. People borrow it. They go, hey, you know, you got taillight out? Dude, it does it every time. I give up. I've put several sets of bulbs in this thing now. And it just doesn't make any sense to me to have to go back and do all this stuff over when you pay over $5,000 for a trailer. Now, that is what it is. That's where we are. And I will tell everybody, do not buy a trailer from these guys. Turns out this thing only came with a 6-month warranty. So if the frame is tweaked, guess who has to live with it now? Me. Because guess who's going to repair it? Only me. And I'll figure something out if I can. But we'll cross that bridge later on in this video. Now, today, So today, what we're going to be doing is making it more livable. Once again, as you can see, I've got angle iron here. I was actually looking for flat stock, couldn't find it in this size. But we are going to take, Elsie, pull the pin out, dummy. So we're going to take this angle iron and we're going to weld it in place right here, from here to here. And then we're going to weld it from here down here and then weld it onto here. So it's going to come out and stay flush with those stake pockets. Now you might be wondering, hey, why are you going to do that? Why do you need an extra piece of angle iron right there? Well, that's because we finally bought a golf cart for taking to the racetrack and stuff. So I had planned this originally. I wanted a 20-foot or 22-foot. I ended up getting a 20-foot car trailer because I wanted A, the car to easy to get off and on, and it's easier with a longer trailer, and B, I wanted enough nose room to slide a golf cart on it sideways. So that is actually the reason why I bought the 20-foot. Otherwise, a 16 or 18-foot would have sufficed, but not for me, not for what I wanted. I wanted that extra room for that golf cart. So we're going to go ahead and get this stuff welded on today, get that taken care of, and make it a little bit more livable. This right here is the big thing for me. Like I said, I'm not feeling so hot anyway, so we're going to try to get that stuff done efficiently, but I'm going to make sure it's done right. Get it all done and painted and call it a day. All right, we got our first piece cut here. We're going to try to go ahead and see how this fit up is. Whew. All right, that's killed me just about. I'm tired and beat, but we did get it finished. I'm happy with it for what it is. My goal was to put just a piece of flat stock all the way across there, just weld it on with a little leg. I couldn't find anything, so I ended up getting angle iron, and it didn't go exactly the way I wanted, like in my head, you know. And I'm not that great of a welder. In fact, I'm not a very good welder right now, and this is totally different than the stuff that I've been doing. So, it ended up liking a lot more speed, as I found out. A little more heat, a little more speed. It ended up taking it a lot better than what I started on. So it started kind of rough, but a grinder and paint will make me the welder I ain't. So I'll show it to you. I promised not to critique me too bad. Look at that, nice and slick. You don't need to see that, but. We got that on there now. You can see it kind of comes out and down. I got the welds cleaned up so that they're not so bad. So the idea is we take his ramp and we're going to set them down right like so. So now, let's put the other one out there on the other side, and we can whoop, pull the golf cart right up on top, strap it down, and hit the road. Now we're getting to take both cars with us to the track, the car and the golf cart, and it doesn't have to inconvenience us much. It should go exactly how I wanted it to, in theory, because this whole front half of the trailer we weren't using anyway. It was, I think the front of the tire was like right here somewhere. I think it was right here. So the front bumper was probably hanging to like right here, maybe. I don't even think it was that far. So we have like basically from here over. That golf cart will easily fit there. So, and then like I said, we can move the car back a little bit because there'll be more weight on the tongue. So it gets weight off the tongue, move the car back, and everything's balanced, and there's more room. Sorry that I can't do much better video than that. I'm just not feeling it tonight. So if you can't tell by my voice, thank you guys for watching. Maybe this gives you an idea on how to do your trailer up as well. Like I said, all that stuff has worked really good for me. Unfortunately, I did buy a crappy trailer in my head. I don't feel like that's issues I should have to deal with every single time. But we'll go through and we'll finish fixing them and we'll make somebody else's mess better. But in the meantime, it's doing exactly what it needs to for us. And, you know, I'm glad to have it. And as ungrateful as I'm sounding with how mad I am about the trailer, I'm still very grateful that I had the opportunity to get a brand new trailer and have one that I can actually use and stop having to borrow people's. That is, right there is just the biggest part of it. So I am grateful I have it. I am bummed that I bought a turd, but moving on. The winch works great. The solar panel keeps the battery charged. I've never had to touch it. It's been a year now, and it just fully maintains itself. It's all independent of the vehicle. So, like, if I had it set up to where it works on the 7-pin, and then somebody else used their truck or something, and it didn't charge the battery on the trip or something because it wasn't wired correctly, because, like, back in the day, like my 6-liter, supposedly you had to add a fuse for it to do that. So if somebody else's stuff didn't have that, it is what it is. Well, that's why I set it up on a fully dedicated system where I don't have to maintain this thing at all. It doesn't have to be plugged into the truck at all. It just takes care of itself. But thank you guys for coming and checking it out. Hope you liked it. Hopefully it gives you some incentive. Like always, make better choices, and we will catch you guys next time.